Okay, so barbell hip thrust. Now, this is a really important video, one that I've been wanting to make for a while now. I am going to demonstrate what it's going to look like for most of you because not all of us have access to a glute bench, which would obviously be ideal. But like I said, that's not the case for everybody. Most people have the conventional benches at the gym. So I'm going to demonstrate this on this bench, which even though this is not the conventional bench, it is the same height, which poses the same type of challenge, okay? So here's what happens, right? The problem that a lot of you are running into is that it's too high, right? So what do we do when it's too high? Now, there's a few solutions. If you actually do have this bench, obviously the easy solution is just turning it on its side. But since that's not the case, let's just pretend this is the regular bench, okay? Now, as you can see, it's hitting me way too high. Now, ideally, we want the bench, the crease of the bench to hit us in our bra line. Now, if you're a dude and you don't wear a bra, so this would be right under your shoulder blades, okay? So, solution one would be to come up to the bench and then prop yourself up here and come up to the right height, right? With a barbell, it's going to look like this. You have it kind of on your hips and you're going to prop yourself up. Now, every time you come up for a rep, your butt is not going to be touching the ground because you're higher up, so it wouldn't make sense. If you were to touch the ground every time, you would have to re-prop yourself up every time, right? Which just wouldn't make any sense. So this is solution number one, staying up here, propping yourself up, and going for your reps. Now, as this barbell is going to get heavier, as you get more and more advanced and stronger, this solution is not going to be the right solution. So we have to think of something else. Here's some options that we can do, okay? You can bring the barbell up. So you're going to bring plates, however many you need, right? You might need one, you might need two, you might need four. It depends how thick your plates are because bumper plates are not all the same size, okay? So you're going to bring those plates next to you and you're going to roll the barbell onto them. And then you're gonna kind of slide yourself under. And this is gonna make it a bit easier, okay? Now, sorry, I forgot one last thing. You actually want to raise your butt as well, obviously. So one of these would work, or just another plate, okay? Now, once it's up here, this already makes for a way better setup because if you see, the bench is hitting me right where it's supposed to be hitting me, okay? Now, it's way easier for me to get into the right position. Now, let's talk the basic cues of hip thrust, okay? There's a few things you want to keep in mind. Number one, your gaze is forward. Okay, we're not looking up. We're not looking, we don't want no hyperextension here. So we're not doing none of these, okay? Gaze is forward. I'm going to just demonstrate a few body weight ones just so you can kind of see the movement, okay? Your gaze is going to be forward, barely any movement in your upper body, and most of the movement is coming from your hips. So you're kind of creating a scooping motion, okay? And your elbows are kind of leaning against the bench. Last thing, shins are vertical. When you come up, shins are in a 90-degree angle. Now, there isn't anything inherently wrong with placing your feet more forward or more back. This is just going to change which muscles you are targeting. So if your feet are more forward, you're going to target more hammies. If they're more back, you're going to feel more quads. When they're vertical, you're hitting your glutes the best. Okay, now, as you can see, there's barely any movement in my torso or in my head. It's mainly coming from my hips. Okay? So that is that for the barbell hip thrust.